Welcome everyone, my name's Ian McLean. This is the HQXtra Eseries presented by Command Digital Signage. This particular event is being held at Symmons Plains Raceway and it's round 3 of our championship. The event that we're watching at the moment is actually brought to us by Asset Plumbing, and we are watching the car of Dwayne Priest at the moment that is actually a commemoration to Ian Beechey. So this hot lap being driven around at the moment is heading down to the hairpin at one of the tightest corners in Australia, and with the HQ Holdens we get to about the 100 metre mark before we jump really heavily on the brakes, almost take 2 full wheel locks to be able to get around, nice and tight, exit out onto the wall, and then we head up the long straight. Now this particular event is actually a commemoration towards Ian Beechey, who's sadly passed away recently. He was one of the founding forefathers of HQ Racing and drafted up the original regulations back in the 1980s, which is still very much the regulations that we run presently under the formulation that we do. So a big heartfelt thank you to Ian, and our wishes are with the family at the moment. We are following on with this particular lap with a formation lap driven by all the HQXtra Eseries drivers following the Beechey signage. So hopefully everyone ends up getting a little bit of this as to what the HQ series brings to everyone. So thank you very much everyone involved, and our wishes go out to the Beechey family.
I want to thank all the HQ boys. You guys are, well, you're more than just boys, you're all family. It's brilliant what you guys have done for Ian Beechey, and you know, the family, I reckon, appreciate it. If it wasn't for old Beechey, we wouldn't be racing these simulators with the HQs, because we wouldn't have had interest in racing HQs to start with. So, you know, Pop definitely got me into racing HQs, and it was the best times of my life. You know, as it turned out, my dad passed away a couple of years ago, and I was lucky enough to race Bathurst at 12-hour in the HQs, and we finished on the podium, and that was, apart from my 2 little boys being born, the best part of my life, you know. And I wouldn't have had any of that experience if it wasn't for Pop and the HQ boys. Like, you know, I think everyone's been to a race meeting and we all get a bit hot and sweaty under the collars on the track, but, you know, all the boys are there to help out as soon as there's a problem. You know, they'll give you anything. And, you know, I just reckon you boys you're just legendary. I don't know what to say. You're a family. You're a group of close family friends. Yeah, thanks everyone.
And that was some really touching words there by Dwayne Priest, and it just goes to show the amount of passion that goes through to the HQ Racing guys and everyone that's involved in it. So a lot of thanks to Ian Beechey there, and for now, let's head into the qualifying results. So great to see you, Dave. Fantastic to have you on board there. How's things been?
Very well and very good, thank you. So this is our round 3 of Tasmanian Super Sprint, brought to you by Asset Plumbing Solutions. So Chris Mole's done absolutely fantastic and put it on pole. Joel Heinrich second. Once again, Michael Howlett's right up there. Jason Mole in 4th, and Brandon Madden is in 5th in the Harvey towing vehicles. So pretty tight when you look at the times. That's absolutely fantastic.
Exactly what you said there. The times are incredible. We've got Brett Osborne that came in at 6th there. Dave Camilleri came in 7th. Leighton Cranbrook in 8th. Matty Reid, who's been a fairly consistent sort of front runner there. And Jason Dwyer from JD Racewear there. Now, between them, they've ended up about 0.6 of a second from 1st to 10th. And I do know that the rest of the grid from there on was actually quite tight as well. So fantastic effort by everyone involved. Let's get into race 1 and let's see how they go.
All right, they're lined up, ready to go. You can see Jason Mole on pole, and off they go. What a ripper of a start. John Baxter is certainly on a bit of an angle there at the back. Oh, he's onto the grass. He's coming back on, but Chris Mole, fantastic start. Howlett there in 2nd, and we've also got the young guy there, Heinrich, in the number 1 Osborne's car there in 3rd position at the moment. Good to see Brett Osborne has qualified in the top 10. And at Simmons Plains here, we're on lap 1.
Absolutely. And look, it's into the hairpin, which is a really tricky beginning to the lap because it's always such a tight entry into it. Very tight hairpin corner, one of the tightest corners that we get to race on. And I think it's almost a 2 lock or a complete lock to be able to get around the corner there. So HQs are on the back straight and there is action and plenty all the way through the field. It's looking fantastic.
It certainly is. Coming through that hairpin, we have to realise how tight it is. It's almost full lock, like you said. It's unbelievable. And the best way is to come out of that right up against the wall, the fence. They go through turns 3 now, the kink, you could say, the back chute there of Simmons Plains. Chris Mole doing extremely well. Howlett, Heinrich in 3rd, Jason Mole in 4th, Brett Osborne on 5th in the 86 car, the blue car there you can see. The Osborne's transport all over it. Dave Camilleri there in the 46 car, he's in 6th position as they go over the line for lap 1.
And in the middle of that field there, we're just looking at Dwayne Priest's car, which is a replication of Ian Beechey's car. So great to see him doing well, and it's fantastic to see that livery up there at one more time anyway. And he's closely followed by a couple of the Harvey towing guys, and fantastic racing up the front once again.
Yeah, it certainly is. The Ian Beechey car, that's how I've always known it. Oh! Chris Mole has spun out of control there. He's lost the lead of the race. Look, that's Howlett. Howlett now is in the lead.
There was one of the Osborne cars that it was John Baxter that got caught up in that as well. So he ended up in the barriers too. So Jason Mole's been the beneficiary out of that. We've got Michael Howlett at the front. We've got Jason Mole in 2nd. We've got Brett Osborne 3rd, and then Dave Camilleri in 4th there. But I can tell you what, it's looking pretty challenging to stay on the track there. There's a lot of cars that are really struggling to exit that final corner onto the start-finish line after that big, long straight.
Yeah, it certainly is. You can almost power slide a HQ. Yes, power slide a HQ around there in the wet, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's like. It's greasy, it's slippery, but today, as you can see, it's a perfect day. The Osborne's car, the number 1 car, that's Joel Heinrich, the little angry ant, you could say. Fantastic to see that he's doing extremely well. I understand that his dad is somewhere in the field. He'll sort of be down the back, I would say, trying to get a hand grip of what E-Series HQ racing is all about. He can't tinker and make it go faster. Oh, Osborne's into the tyres. There's a bit of the wall has come out there on David Camilleri. But as they go down the back chute, Osborne's car looks to be okay.
He's had a bit of a touch-up from Dave Camilleri in the braking area there, but one thing that we have got is a bit of a gentleman's rule. If you do end up sort of tagging somewhere and putting them offline a little bit, I can see that David's actually gone and feathered off a little bit on the throttle, let the re-entry occur so that he's redressed that position. So there's no advantage taken. Dave Camilleri's continued and the positions have stayed the same. So I can tell you on a slipstream side of things, up that back straight, it makes a huge difference to be in the boot of the car in front. And particularly if you're even 3rd in a queue, it's even better still. So sometimes they're getting speed up into that corner at the end of the back straight there, significantly higher than what they would on a normal lap. And that can actually bring a couple of guys unstuck when they're entering into that braking area and maybe doing 5 or 10 kilometres an hour faster than they would.
Yep, and as you've been talking there, Jason Mole has got in front of Howlett. Howlett back to 7. Chris Mole, Command Digital is in front. Fantastic, good-looking cars there. Brett Osborne, he'll be liking this up near the front at long last. He's got his E-Series HQ handling and driving better, and his simulator more to his style. Oh, he's gone out wide, Mole, but normally that helps. Oh, they're already coming up onto a lap car. That's actually Joel's dad, ladies and gentlemen. We're on lap 5, and that's Joel's dad in front there. So Bruce is certainly having a few issues and dramas. Maybe the eyesight's not quite as good as what it should be. I've always told him his eyes are too close together. But have a look at Jason Mole. He's going well. Howlett, unbelievable how good and close he is. There's Brett Osborne, and of course, right behind me, David Camilleri, and the Chook man car number 46.
And like we were saying before, that lap previous, we were talking about how significant the slipstreaming is there. Jason Moles ended up advantaged out of that, so he's ended up taking the lead, like we said. Brett Osborne's very much in the hunt. I know that he was doing a lot of laps practicing before we got to this particular event, and he's done well. I do know that a couple of guys have found the sand trap at various times around the circuit too, which they're struggling with as well. So we'll see how they go.
Yep, just saw a picture of John Baxter there. He's in the second Osborne's car that you can see. Also, the Harvey car, the 57's only just come out of the pits. So he's had an issue and drama. He's just come out of the pits, so he is at least a couple of laps down as we go through. We've got Reed, we've got the JD car there, 21 car there at Dwyer. Beautiful looking car. Oh, Thomas. Thomas certainly got a bit slidey coming out of turn 3 there. You know, the sharp hairpin, which is unbelievable. We raced there many years ago, and Kevin Stoopman's car was freshly painted. And by the end of the weekend, the boot lid was moving that much through that corner. It took all the paint off. Goes to show you how much movement there is in a HQ in the rear going around that hairpin. No, I'm fair income, no jokes. Perfect gap of a quarter of an inch either side. But over the weekend, it took all the paint off. So they certainly load themselves up through the hairpin.
And look, Stoopy's cars have always been very well presented, so I don't doubt that one bit. But you're right, that corner is a very tight corner and very tough on the car to get that power down too. So that entry and exit is critical to be able to sort of get out of there. And the guys at the front are doing a great job. Jason Mole looks like he's sort of putting a good foot forward there, and the guys are doing really well up the front.
Yep, it's a 13 lapper, and as you can see, we're on lap 7 already, so it doesn't take real long for it to happen. Oh, a little bit of a come together there between Reed and Dwyer. That's coming out of that hairpin. Bruce Heinrich's coming around. He's got some damage on the right-hand front nose cone. He'd be a little bit upset about that. He normally likes to keep the cars looking clean and mint as they're going down the back chute. Dwyer's doing extremely well, but in qualifying, I couldn't believe there was a 171.6 or something, the fastest speed on the trap there. So it's almost 1.5 seconds. So that slipstream in qualifying certainly helped that car.
Yeah, you're right. Look, looking at the stats, they did indicate that. And along the back straight there's a potential of a half a second, possibly even more. We sort of hit a terminal speed that is a great lap, and then all of a sudden you sort of get one that sneaks up above that. And we know that ends up sort of being due to the slipstream. So with the guys that we're sort of watching battle here at the moment, we've got Jason Dwyer and we've got Dwayne Priest, 2 of the Tasmanians there. And there's a few Tasmanians in the field. Otis Corwell is actually running the Super Speed Cafe car, and he's doing a really great job with that as well. But the guys up the front are really sort of tussling hard, and there's a few in that back half of the top 10 that are really quite competitive. Looks like Dave Camilleri's sort of still in there as well, but the guys at the front are pushing all the way to the flag at this point.
Yeah, certainly there's a bit of a lead change there. I didn't see exactly what happened. But Jason Mole's gone back to third, Howard's first, Osborne back to second. Now Osborne's trying to go on the outside, inside, down into the final corner. Osborne has hit the front. Osborne has finally found where he likes it the best, up the front. So this will be interesting. Howard there, bumper to bumper, right through into turn 1. And then we've got Jason Mole, the 32 car, Command Digital. They go over the start-finish line. Now they're into lap 8. Brett Osborne got in front of him, still going well.
He has, and look, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the first lap that Brett Osborne may have led in the E-Series. So he's very much accustomed to leading races, both on a state and national level, obviously being a multiple state and multiple national championship winner. But in the E-Series, it's the first time he's been leading a race, and he started off a little bit fresh, and he's persisted with it just like he does with his racing, and he's definitely pushing up the grid. And at the moment, like we said, he's leading this race over a hungry pack of HQs.
Certainly is. Dwayne Priest there in the Beechey car, absolutely fantastic. A real honour to see that car out there for round 3 at the Asset Plumbing Solutions, race 1 here at Symmons Plains, Tasmania.
And credit.
They go down through.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt there. I was just going to say,
mate.
Giving credit to Jason Mole and Command Digital to be able to make the cars that they have, and this is just another example of what they've been able to produce. So fantastic work.
Yep, it certainly is. Nicholas just shut the door on Heinrich. Oh, Heinrich's given him an absolute bang. Honey, I'm home. Has put him into the wall. So Heinrich, that'll be interesting to see if he gets a 10-car grid position or whatever. Absolutely slammed him. Yes, Nicholas tried to block him to try and get not allowing to pass on the back chute, but just drilled the back wall there. You saw it. So that car will be limping home. So Heinrich, 3 laps to go, penalty, waiting to see what he gets.
Yeah, look, he's definitely closed the gate halfway down the straight there, but we'll see what the stewards sort of feel about that one. But it's pretty hard to redress it when the particular car that you're talking about ended up nose deep into the tyre barrier there. But yeah, definitely a bit of a tussle going on.
It certainly is. Look at Dwayne Proust there going around the outside, up the inside there. Now, just having a bit of a look here, I'm just trying to see whether Howlett is in front of Osborne. Yes, he is. Look at that. Going through turn 2, you go, then up the back chute, up underneath the bridge there. So, absolutely a good track here at Simmons Plains. So, the super sprint. We've got Nicholas there limping. You definitely see he's limping. The JD car there, agreed. And also Dwayne Proust.
Yeah, look.
Dwyer, the 21 car.
You could see that the damaged car from the tyre power car for Nicholas Jackson there was crawling along the inside of the circuit, which the cars themselves do get damaged and they do create an issue with the car, so they don't end up being able to perform as well as they did. And we can see that relative to the rest of the speed of the cars around there. But again, we're heading down the back of the straight. One of the cars early in practice was doing, or qualifying was doing about a 1:12. I think in qualifying that probably blew out to about a 1:13. The laps that they've been doing here are again around the 1:13s because with the cars that they're in traffic with, they can really benefit out of the slipstream.
It certainly is. Within 0.7 the top 10. 0.7 of a second the top 10, so that's extremely close. And then the rest of the field was fairly tight there. Good to see Hollywood there in the 99 car. I saw the CR car there of Kenny Wright there in a couple of shots ago. Now that looks like, is that the gorgeous boy in HQ26, the pretty teal blue car you'd say there of Parker. And also Leighton Cranbrook, just saw a bit of a look at his car there. He's back in the normal pool car, the number 6, the bright red one. As we go around the corner, the 99 car there, Hollywood. Geez, John Baxter is certainly cutting the grass, you could say, at the moment. As they come onto the chute, we're on lap 12 of 13, so we've got one more lap after this. And Johnny Baxter hasn't got the engine that is normally in his race car on the bitumen, because that thing is an absolute weapon. They're all that close together here.
And he's got his elbows out, and a couple of the guys are doing very similar sort of things there. So between Ash Parker and Wayne Hollywood, as well as Baxter, they were pretty tight there. And again, it's pretty deep all the way through the field. I don't think there's much room left on the cards there, and they're pushing as hard as they can. Up here, we've sort of got the Beechey car and Dwyer there having a bit of a look up the back straight there. So we've got one lap to go. This is the final tour. We're obviously down to, hopefully, a nice tight finish.
Yes, so there's Joe Andreski. I just saw his car there as well. There's Brett Osborne there. Oh, first, second and third have got really, really tight now. You can throw a small blanket over the 3 of them coming through the corner, and then also some back markers also having their own. Anyway, Command Digital car. This will be interesting to see what happens now. Brett Osborne back to third. Howard once again, the number 7 car up the front. Command Digital, what can he do? This will be interesting. Can Jason Mole do anything? The 32. Oh, Howard! Howard's gone out wide. Howard's losing it by the looks of it. The Digital Command car's gone up the inside quite easily. Howard's gone out wide, out-braked himself, and it's Jason Mole, the Command Digital car, 32 car, will take the checkered flag. Brett Osborne finished second, but geez, on the last corner, you could say, less than 200 metres from the start-finish line, Howard kisses it goodbye.
And as they cross the line, fantastic race one there. So the results as they stood for Jason Mole, with Command Digital coming through with first place. Brett Osborne, fantastic result for him for Osborne's Transport. Michael Howlett, after his spin just coming onto that final stretch there, he lost the lead and he came through for third place. So lucky to sort of bring that together. Matty Reid ended up coming fourth, so he's done fantastically there. He came up 4 places. And Simon Thomas in 5th position there. He again came over 5 places too. So great run by those guys.
Yep, certainly is. The Rainbow car is doing Thomas extremely well. David Camilleri up into 6th. Dwayne Priest there. The Tassie, the Ian Beechey car there, well presented. That, thank you very much. Jason Dwyer in 8th. Kenny Wright at CR International. Have a look at this. Darren Jenkins finished in the top 10. He came up 16th position. So at long last, he's had a finish and he's done quite well. So well done, Darren Jenkins, President of South Australia. Well done, mate.
Absolutely. And look, again, on the real life sort of side of things, it'd be pretty hard to beat for a lot of the year over in South Australia, and definitely did well in the Nationals. But in the sim sort of side of things, it's a new challenge. So fantastic results all around. Let's have a quick look at race 2 and we'll see how we go with that.
Right, I'm just waiting for race 2 to happen. Waiting for the green. The green's gone. Ripper of the start there by Jason Mole. Got a real good start. So did Osborne as they all come screaming through. 50 and up the inside we've got Jason. Oh, that's Chris Mole. That's Chris Mole coming through beside the 13 car there of Kenny Wright as they all go through turns 1 and 2. This is only lap 1 of the 13 lapper and race 2 here at Simmons Plains.
And they're absolutely packing down the front straight there. So they're heading along lap 1 with 34 cars in this particular grid, heading into the hairpin shortly. And it's fairly tight up the front there. Again, we've got the Command Digital cars. The last time we saw it, Brett Osborne up the front there as well, but that mid-pack's pretty tight.
They certainly are. Kenny Wright's got a real good corner in there at the hairpin, the C&R car, the 13 car. The Ian Beechey car there up in 7th position. And we've got Brett Osborne going around the outside, which will be the inside, coming onto the front straight. Howlett's trying to make... This will be interesting. Simmons Plains. Oh, and there you go. Brett Osborne will squeeze back into 3rd position, coming onto the front chute. Right where the pits are, ladies and gentlemen, that's where the commentary box is. Madden doing extremely well also, and Reid and David Camilleri, the Chookman car, the 46 car. He's going extremely well. He's having fun.
I was just about to mention Madden there too, but it looks like there might have been a tangle into that turn 1-2 complex exit there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap there. I'm just trying to see what happened and what's going on. He's certainly gone back. Commentator's curse, you could say there. Look at this, Howard's tight. Well, Howard gets it a bit look-to-do. He's coming out of the tight one. But Chris Mole, you've got to almost graze the Ferroto sign. Not as hard as what Hollywood just hit it then, to have a quick run to come out of the chute going down the back straight.
And look,
Priest, Madden and Reid.
Yeah, Madden's having a great run. Matty Reid's done fairly well a lot of the other events, but good to see Brendan Madden up there. And then we've got Howlett sort of still running quite competitively. And like we mentioned, we've got Dwayne Priest in the car for Ian Beechey. So fantastic up the front. We've got running along the back straight, coming into the final corner. And we've got cars that are absolutely door to door all the way through the field.
Yeah, like you said, 34 cars, that would have been... Madden has served it up to Dwayne Priest there. Dwayne Priest definitely served it up to him on turn 2 there. And he certainly just skidded off the track. We've also got another car on the inside there of turn 1, turn 2. A black car. I'm just trying to work out who that is at the moment. But that's the number 4 car there, you can see. And also we've got Heinrich. Heinrich there doing extremely well. He's up into... top 5, just trying to have a bit of a look. Camilleri's still there. That's Smith. Leighton Cranbrook, he's having an average run at the moment. John Baxter's still trying to come through as they all squeeze themselves out like a small pimple coming out of the tight hairpin up there. So they all make it through. Got the kink there. That kink's a fairly good kink on this TV screen.
And when we're looking at the guys through the pack there, we've got Hollywood battling it out with Otis Corwell in the Speed Cafe car. And again, a few sort of dicing up into that final turn before the start-finish line.
Well, we've had a bit of a loose here. That's Madden. Madden facing the wrong way. That isn't a happy place to be, I can tell you that for sure. Joel Heinrich, number 1, the Osborne's car. Kenny Wright, lucky 13, is in front of him. Look out, Kenny. He served the last guy up in the last race, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully he's had a good talking to, and Heinrich will once again focus on motorsport.
Absolutely. And look, I'm sure the stewards will be overseeing any of the driving that has been performed, but you're right, Kenny Wright's been able to sort of get his way through. I know that he had a bit of an incident in that previous race. He's just been chipping his way at it, and I know that a lot of the guys in that top 10 there have been shuffled up a little bit, and it's good to see the order reversing in some of those positions too. But it's tight all around, and there is always action going on, particularly up that back straight. Again, there's almost a pass every single lap when you get into a car group of about 2 or 3 cars, that aerodynamic pull up the back straight there. And we might even sort of see some more passing moves coming up.
Yeah, Chris Mole's up into 6th position, so he's done extremely well for Command Digital. He's come back through the field. He had a rip at the start that I mentioned, so he's coming back through. So Command Digital cars, you can see them there, both of them in the top 6. But have a look, there's Heinrich in the number 1. Howlett's doing extremely well. Brett Osborne there, he's got a full face helmet to keep that smile inside the helmet, because that's where he likes to be, and why not? He certainly has been doing a little bit of sim work, I would say, fine-tuning the brain to the pedal, make it smooth, side by side, down into the hairpin, Howell on the inside, Osborne on the outside. It's Reed just behind him there in the 013 car. That's a good camera shot there, you just saw. And also then you've got Chris Mole as they all come shooting down. Just trying to look for Jason, see where Chip is at the moment.
Yeah, Jason has definitely dropped off the pace there a little bit. So again, we've got a few of the guys up the front that are still there. We've got Brett having a great little tussle with Michael Howlett there, and Matty Reid sort of come in with that tussling, sort of bringing them back through the pack a little bit. They've sort of slowed up at the front, but we've got Mole there in 4th, Heinrich in 5th, and again, it's just sort of tightening up. There's a few cars that have slipped off the track there, and it's really easy to do, particularly up to that back straight. The turn 1-2 complex, we've had a bit of a talking to with the guys to make sure they're sort of not cutting too much out of that, to make sure that they're abiding by the track rules there, and it's ended up working really well, just like we did at Adelaide with the turn 1-2 complex there. So again, it's really tight up. I'm probably picking 1st to 12th, maybe even 15th, are almost sort of nose to tail.
Yeah, they certainly are. And you see the crowd there is all glued to the side of the track, having a good view of the HQs going down. But a little bit tight. Oh, Thomas. That's Thomas. I'm just trying to see who Thomas had an altercation with there. But Jason Mole is... Oh, no, there's Jason there now, the 32 car. I don't know where he was, where he's going. Trying to cruise now. But Osborne's at the front. Reed is second. Howell, as per normal, always in the top 3, really driving extremely well. So down into the final corner there. We're on lap 6, starting lap 7 very, very shortly. Reed up the inside. That's where you want to be. Not many people have won a HQ race going around the outside, but Skippy Parsons, Dave Parsons on the young kid there of Spud Wood, he drove around the outside of him over there some 6 or 7 years ago in a John Wise car going around the outside. So it can be done, but it's a very, very tight and not much room to get there.
And I tell you who's doing a great job out the front is Matty Reid. He's ended up picking his way through Howlett. Jason Mole's in there too, and Chris Mole's still in that top 5 there, like we're sort of imagining. But Brett Osborne picking his way through to 2nd. You got Matty Reid actually leading the pack there. We've got Michael Howlett sort of coming through in 3rd. We've got Heinrich in 4th. We've got Jason Mole 5th there. We've got Scott Andreski and then Chris Mole, and then we've got Kenny Wright, like we mentioned before, in the CR International car. It's, again, that slipstream battle up the back. You almost want to be on your own. You really don't want anyone sort of towing their way through. And that could work either for Matty Reid or against him. If the 2 cars behind him tow it up, they can end up getting an advantage out of it.
Yeah, Chris has gone very, very wide then. Oh, Scott Andreski, number 4 car, has had a spin. There's Leighton Cranbrook, you can see there also. And I also saw at the back there, around about 10th, 11th position, is John Baxter, little Johnny. So 51 car, which is the other Osborne car. You can see they're identical. Reed doing extremely well. Reed's in front, then Howard, then Heinrich, then Osborne, and then I'd say that must be Jason Mole, and then Kenny Wright rounding out the top 6.
And look, even sort of looking at how these guys are battling, I think they're actually going to start having a good chance of being able to peg back for Matty Reid out the front there, because I think they're just going to pull that gap back the more that that's...
Leighton Cranbrook's had a massive lose. He's come around the hairpin and spat himself out to the right-hand side of the track, to the outside of the track there. I didn't see any car-to-car contact, but the pits will tell us later on who hit who and who done who and who's winning against who, you know. So Reid, look at Howard now. Howard's up the inside, trying to work out if he goes left or right. He's gone in behind Reid. As they go through 1 and 2, we're on lap 9, 4 laps to go. Geez, Reid's car's looking good, mate. Reid's car's looking good. He's doing extremely well. Are you sure this guy hasn't done any racing?
Look, they're all going well up the front there, and particularly Howlett, he's been challenging there all the way along. But I can tell you the mover at the moment is Joel Heinrich. He's definitely been picking his way through sort of one by one, and again, I think those advantages have been there, and the doors open up at the right possible time. We've got Michael Howlett sort of pushing pretty hard. We've got 2 Osborne cars between Brett Osborne and Joel Heinrich there, and then just in the waiting there, I think Jason Mole's playing a pretty smart game there, even championship-wise, with Michael Howlett sort of tussling up the front. Things can happen. He might get caught up in a bit of a battle and end up dropping some points there, but the championship's probably on the mind of Jason Mole here at the moment. He's definitely playing a really good game, running 5th. There's not a lot of points between 3rd and 5th, so I think he might end up having a smart move here.
Yeah, well, we know what happened to Howlett. 1 corner to go. The fat lady was almost singing and cut off. Howlett is driving 11 tenths every time he's out there, whichever track we've been at. So I'm sure he'll take this one down to the wall. I'm sure he'll try and get as far forward as he can. And, he gives it 11 tenths. So the West Australians doing a fantastic job.
Look, in this little tight battle here, like we said, we've got a couple of the Osborne cars there. So we've got some New South Wales drivers, we've got a Victorian driver, we've got a Western Australian driver there. So there's a good mix of cars and drivers there, and between all the different states, there's representatives of each. So we've got some South Australian guys, we've got some Victorian guys, some Queenslanders. So it's brilliant to sort of see everyone coming together and having a good, enjoyable time. But I can tell you what, it's the same as when racing happens. You put the helmet on, and it's on for young and old.
Yeah, certainly he's going back through the field there in 9th, 10th, 11th position. Whoa, hang on. What's going on here? Osborne, which way is up at the moment? I don't know what happened there. He's certainly had some issues.
Joel Heinrich, that was. So Osborne's sort of still there. But, Joel's had a bit of a spin there on an entry onto the start-finish or pit straight.
Yeah, he certainly did, and he's certainly dropped back. That's what Howlett done on lap 11. Now you can see 2 laps to go. Brett Osborne is doing extremely well. Then we've got Kenny Wright. Then we've got Thomas doing fantastic there in 6th. All right, there's Heinrich. He's back into 7th. He might be able to get in front of 6th and 5th, so he finishes 5th. So that'll be quite interesting. 2 laps, plenty of time. But as I was saying, we've got Camilleri, we've got Baxter, and also the Speed Cafe car. Who's driving that one again?
Yeah, Otis Thorwald's actually driving that. So again, a local round for Tasmania. So we've got 3 or 4 Tasmanians in the field today, and Otis is driving the Speed Cafe car. So he's doing a good run at that, and he's a very, very competitive sim racer. So I've seen some of the stuff that he gets up to on the field that he does with the R Factor, which is the platform that we're running on, but again, he runs on other sort of platforms too, and it's incredible to watch. So he's getting his head around this, and it's obviously a different little quirks between this particular platform and other ones too. But this battle at the front's getting amazing. We've got 2 laps to go, and the way that they're battling up the front there, you just never know what's going to happen.
It certainly was. It was that tight. It was unbelievable. Now, we've got a bit of a fire by the looks of things on the blue car on the side of the track there. She's smoking. He might have done an engine by the looks of it, so he'll be disappointed with that. Reed's in front. Osborne now up into second position. Oh, Howlett's just on the grass. Yes, Osborne's in second position. Howlett's in third. And then we've got Jason Moller in the 32 car in fourth position. Command Digital. Yes, it is the 32 car. Chris is 3 cars behind him. Chris had an issue there on lap 1 or 2. You can remember that far back. Thomas is doing extremely well also. And Heinrich's got a little bit to catch up. This will be quite interesting. Oh, Osborne's definitely cutting the grass, you could say there. Definitely on the infield. Thomas. Oh, Osborne. Osborne's got problems.
He's actually blown the motor up. He's been pushed that fast with the slipstream down the back straight there by Howlett trying to catch up with Matty Reed that I think he might have overrevved the engine. So he's done a motor and that thing's caught up on fire. So he's gone from first or second place. Definitely
hero to zero, you could say. Gee, what an absolute pity. But on the final lap, 13 of 13, Cafe is also doing extremely well. That's Cornwall. Cornwall's up into 9th position by the looks of it. He's doing extremely well.
He has done. He started.
And Heinrich still trying to catch.
Yeah, look, between Otis Cornwall and Heinrich trying to push his way back through. Again, up the front there, I think it's going to be a pretty tight finish. But the last back markers in the top 10 there are again, unknown at this stage. But we'll see what the finish brings us.
Yes, as they come around, Reed's on the outside. Howlett's on the inside. This will be very, very interesting. Now, Reed is trying to come back on. Oh, Howlett's gone out wide. Here comes Reed. Reed will get him. Reed will get Howlett over the start-finish line. And Command Digital there, Jason Mole in 3rd position. Geez, that was tight. Once again, Thomas has finished in the top 6. There's Cordwell. That is race 2 here at Simmons Plains for Asset Solution Plumbing.
And as they cross over the line, there's a fantastic race 2 result there for the round 3 of the Tasmanian Super Sprint brought to us by Asset Plumbing Solutions. So we had Matty Reed that drove a fantastic race there. So came through in 1st position, starting 3rd. Michael Howlett did a fantastic effort, again creeping up a little bit, 2nd position, very competitive. Jason Mole, great championship results. Although he started 1st, he ended up 3rd place there, but great result for him. But Kenny Wright, CR International, came through 5 positions. Joel Heinrich came up 8 positions. So he's had a bit of an action-packed weekend so far.
He certainly has. Simon Thomas in the Rainbow car up 8 positions to finish 6th. So we've got David Camilleri doing extremely well. Chris Hanskoff from Western Australia doing well. Scott Andreski, and rounding out the top 10, we've got Chris Mole, Command Digital. So well done for him to finish in the top 10.
Absolutely. Let's get on to race 3 and we'll see what we can find out how they've all ended up.
Final race at Simmons Plains, and away they go. What a ripper of a start. You see Brett Osborne in the background there with another engine in his car. He's up going again. Chris Askoff doing extremely well. Look at that. Look at the gap he's already got there to Howard, to Jason Mole, as they all go screaming through. Are they all got to make it? Well, Bruce Heinrich, he's certainly way down the back. Oh, Bruce, you've got to start somewhere, mate. Now you know how I feel. As they start the final race. This is lap 1 up to the hairpin.
And I can tell you what, looking back over that field from the turn 1 or 2 complex there, it looked amazing seeing all those cars come out. Let's see how they end up going through the hairpin though.
Whoa, hang on a sec, mate. We've got Hollywood. Hollywood doing his own thing. Gets absolutely T-bone smacked, both doors and nose cone. That's 5-6 cars deep there at the kink. Oh, geez, what an absolute. I also saw Dave Camilleri slide up to where Jason Bright did many years ago, but he's back on the track. A lot happening in the background, a lot of damaged, bent cars, and here we go. Let's hope that everything's still going. Hopefully they can get themselves off the track so we can continue with full green racing laps.
I can tell you in a sim it's pretty difficult because you don't have your peripheral vision. So when you're heading into that hairpin, it's actually blind. All you can see is what's in front of you. It's like not being able to or been having blinkers on. So you can't see there's a car halfway around the turn. So you enter into a blind. It's really tricky. But again, all the guys up the front, they're keeping it nice and clean. Same as a normal race, you end up finding the straightest cars in the field are the ones up the front.
And they're normally the most legal ones anyway. Well, let's face it. Oh, Heinrich's got turned around as well. Oh, that's Kenny Wright, the CR International. Kenny certainly won't be finishing in the top 5 this race, as they try to front bumper bar seems to come off these cars fairly easily. We'll have to have a bit of a talk about that. Just go scooting across the infield there. Speed Cafe car there, the Viking, you could say, Cordwell, doing extremely well. Scott Andreski, Howard, Ainsworth, Thomas. Thomas is up into the 3rd position by the looks of it, so he's doing extremely well with the 76 car. Scott Andreski right behind him. We've got Jason Mole and also Chris Mole there, 2 digital command cars, doing extremely well. Dwayne Priest is doing also well. David Camilleri.
Yeah, I was actually looking at, we've got Matty Reid in front there, but second place we've got Michael Howlett there, and then Chris Ainscough. And like you said, Simon Thomas is actually going fantastically up the front there too. We've got a couple of guys that we've sort of got pushing back there too. We've got Jason Mole, we've got Andreski, I think it might have been, and a few of the other front runners sort of starting to peg back. So a couple of incidents, definitely through that hairpin the first time round. Hopefully they make a nice clear run out of this time though.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're all, you can see them there. Oh, look at that. That's Smith now. Smith from Adelaide, number 11 car. It's getting a bit of a ping pong effect happening in the old arcade game, you could say there. Certainly getting hit left, right, and centre. Took out another 4 cars, so they've definitely slowed down through the hairpin as they come back through the field. We've got, just trying to think if there's someone in front of Howlett's at the moment. Hanskoff will probably be there. Howard, and then Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas in 4th. Scott Andreski in 5th. Camilleri in 6th, 7th there. And also the Speed Cafe car. That looks, look at that. That's a beautiful looking car.
Boy, look, it's a gorgeous looking car. And thanks again for Speed Cafe for being involved too.
Yep, it certainly is fantastic to see all and everyone. 34 cars is a full grid here. At Solution Plumbing, thank you guys very much. Thank you, Scott Boland. He's a managing director. His wife's the owner. So, Andreski there, Camilleri, Anskoff, Thomas. Oh, look at Chris Mole trying to go up the inside. Oh, can he hang on to it? And his brother's got to follow him through. Try and follow him through. This will be interesting going down the back straight. This is lap 4 of 13, all 13 lap races. Leighton was doing okay there. He's in 9th position. Right behind him is Johnny Baxter. So, yes, Johnny Baxter. So everything is going quite good at the moment. So David Camilleri doing extremely well there in the Chookman car, number 46 in New South Wales. Speed Cafe on the inside. Has he got an issue or problem? No. Just Victor Lawnmower just cutting a bit of grass on the final turn. He's still going. There's Baxter. Baxter there, 51 car. Have a look how close they are. Door handle to door handle, bumper to bumper. And they all make it through. Heinrich's trying to make a short track out of it there on turn 2. Up the back chute they go.
And I think,
so 1 minute, high 1 minute 12 is a pretty good lap around here.
Absolutely. And again, we were talking about the way that the guys were sort of hammer and tong there. We've got Baxter sort of in a fairly tight tussle there. We've got Jason Mole involved as well. And, is this a Max?
Sorry, mate. Sorry. There's both Osborne's cars, John Baxter and Brett Osborne, the 86 and the 51 car, have had a coming together with a couple of other cars there coming out of the corner. As you can all see, they're all like Brown's cows at the moment. They're all like a clock. They're all pointing in different directions. So just waiting for them to come out. We're on lap 5. The Ian Beechey car's got some damage on the right-hand front there. Dwayne Priest is driving. Wheel alignment. May need another wheel alignment. A Beechey wheel alignment after this race. Camilleri, Thomas, as they go over the start-finish line for lap 6 of 13.
Yeah, so we've got Michael Howlett sort of still running there in second place. We've got Matty Reid in first. We've got Andreski, I think it might be, in third. We've got Dave Camilleri in fourth. We've got Simon Thomas fifth. I think we've ended up with Chris Mole. Oh no, it's Chris Ainscough. Sorry, not Chris Mole, it's Chris Ainscough.
That's Ainscough fair, yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, we've got the top two have got a little bit of a break there, and they may well hold this on the slipstream. But the following four are pretty close, and then following that as well, like we said, it's fantastic to see that retro-inspired car by Dwayne Priest there for Ian Beechey. Looks fantastic. There's some great words that he was able to sort of share with us before, and Dwayne's actually a family friend of the Beechey family there, and he's really close mates with Adam Beechey, his son. So it's really, really great to sort of see what the HQ Holden guys are all about.
Yeah, certainly is. I met Adam there when I was over in Tassie at the Nationals we had there some 6 years ago, and yeah, he's a top bloke, mate. He wants to be up front like all of us want to be, and we're certainly having a go there in the white HQ back then, and it's good to see the car out here this weekend. Fantastic gentleman. I was lucky enough to catch up and meet Ian a couple of times when I was over there. Floating around in and out the HQ pits and things like that, which was absolutely spot on. And righto, we're on lap 7 of 13.
Sorry to interrupt there as well, but like you were touching on that before, Adam was actually second, I think, outright in the 2008 National Championships for the HQ. So in his own right, very, very competitive too. So a few years ago now, but obviously a pretty tight driver back then, and did very well. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there's some sort of a return at some point in time as well.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Absolutely fantastic. Adam Beechey is also driving one of the Donut King cars there at Bathurst and a few other places. He's done extremely well. He's got some good sponsorship there with them over the years also. So, mate, motor racing is in the family. Absolutely.
And it looks like Pedro Marusic may have actually been caught up in one of those incidents, and he's lost a front tyre. So he's still circulating, but he's got some massive damage on the left-hand front there. So I don't think it's sort of helping some of the back markers, or not the back markers. He is the back marker, but he's definitely not helping some of the other guys come through the field there.
No, that's for sure. Left-hand front looks like it's half flat or half full, being Pedro. In the 30 car there, the Pools car, as you can see there, is putting a black line up the track. It almost looks like an LH Tirana. He's narrowed it that far in the front. So as I go down into the hairpin, once again, that bumper bar just 60. Oh, Thomas has had a spin. Thomas in fourth position, gone back to fifth, maybe even back to sixth. Geez, he'll be absolutely disappointed with that. The Rainbow car, the 76 car, Anscoff got a really good gap there. So then we've got Camilleri, the Beechey car there, the car 60 as we were just talking about, and the black car. Is that Scott Andreski or is that Heinrich just trying to wait and see? I reckon that's Heinrich. I reckon that's Heinrich back there.
Let's find out. Yeah, couldn't see myself. So yeah, it could be Heinrich.
Yep, these two cars had a bit of a coming together on the final corner, which has led Heinrich straight past. You don't have to give him much of a gap, and he'll just take, not even a gentleman, he'll just take it. So Heinrich just went past two cars coming onto the front straight. So got me, he's up in the fourth position now, Heinrich. Oh, Answorth's had a spin. The number 12 car bags him up, smoking the Kendra tyre. So and away he goes again, but he's certainly gone back a little. Now, let's wait and see. Howard and Reid, they must be first and second. Well, they've been able to keep out of all this trouble which has been behind them. So we're on lap 9 of 13, 4 laps to go. We've got Reid and then Howard. As you can see, there's a fair bit of a gap there. Just trying to see if there's anything between Howard and Camilleri.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Camilleri third, or was there a car?
Well, Camilleri was involved with Thomas exiting onto the main straight there through the hairpin the lap prior, or maybe 2 laps ago, and then a couple of them got tangled up.
2 laps.
2 laps ago. So Beechey, the retro-inspired car, and then Ainscough, I think, sort of ended up getting tangled with him as well. So Heinrich definitely benefited out of that. And then you've still got Dave Camilleri running through in third potentially. So you've got Heinrich in fourth, and then we'll see what the rest of them ended up. But you're right, they've got a massive gap out the front there, which is probably going to be something they can hold to the end. But that just means that it's going to be pretty high pressure for Matt Reid with the championship front runner. Howlett running very competitive there, and again he's got the advantage of the slipstream. I just wonder how much he's going to put on the line for a race win over some really solid points in the championship.
But Heinrich, which is in third position, Scott Andreski I think is in fourth. Then we go back to Thomas by the looks of it, I would say. Just keep an eye on the screen as we're just waiting to go back through it all. And yep, that's it. David Camilleri's there also. But gee, first and second, mate, you've got a picnic camper in front of the rest of the field. Reid is trying to block a little bit now, Howard, I would say. Reid is having a bit of a tyre issue, I would say, getting towards the end of the day. And can Howard keep it smooth? You see that black mark? That's a Kenda tyre mark there. That's where Pedro just burnt that Kenda into the bitumen, you can see there, going up to the hairpin.
And look, absolutely, the tyres themselves in this sim situation do go off. So if you're particularly hard on them, and the rears sort of seem more of the likely, unfortunately, factor of the whole thing, that they end up sort of probably going off more than the rest of the car. So when they're tipping them into the turns like the end of the straight here, you're really sort of burning up those tyres, and then you're trying to work them hard coming out onto the straight as well. So they get a pretty hard life around this circuit, and from what I can see, a couple of the guys that are really having issues getting through some of these tighter turns. You might find that some of the guys have run a little bit harder on them earlier in the race.
Have a look at this. Have a look at Howard. Howard's in front. Howard's in front of Reid. We're going on to lap 12. This lap and one more. So we've got 2 laps to go. Oh, Reid's coming back. Oh, okay. That was a bit of a change there from in front back to second again. Reid is still going extremely well.
Well, what
so
they've actually,
Howlett's car.
Yeah, what they've actually gone and done there, I think that Howlett might have felt that he might have been a contributor into that sort of half a spin there by Matty Reid. So he's done the right thing and he's redressed that position. So again, to avoid any sort of fines or any incidents in the steward's room, he's been able to back off there and give the advantage back that he gave obviously. Keeps the positions as they are, and they can fight it to the flag with 1 lap to go, lap 12 of 13. They're getting pretty close to the end there. It's only a few Ks to go, and there's a couple of cars that are stuck together somewhere there too.
Yeah, they certainly are. Talking about sticking together. Have a look at first and second there. Reid and then Howard on the inside. Howard should be able to come down, be one of the late breakers. Can he do anything to Reid? Coming to the final lap, you could say. Very, very tightly. Reid is certainly giving it to it, coming onto the front straight. You can hear these babies sing. 202 Holden, single carby, 3.55 diff ratio from second into third. They're revving these things out to 5.8, 6,000 revs, ladies and gentlemen, with the standard rods, the standard 202 rods. So they hang together extremely well. And for HQ Racing, it's what affordable excitement is all about.
And look, again, that comes back to why we're here. We've got Dwayne Priest running the Beechey car. He was actually one of the 4 founding members of the category that we've got right now. Founded, I think, originally in 1988. Some of those original draftings of the category were created. He wasn't alone. There was a lot of wonderful people that were involved in it too, but without their support and without the category sort of being founded in the way that it has, it's very, very similar to what it is now. And you can see how great it is. We've got 40 cars, or close to, that are battling, and we couldn't get it any better than that. So fantastic effort.
Righto, ladies and gentlemen, have a look at that. What an absolute blinder. Reid himself has beaten Howard for second, Scott Andreski for third, I would say. Then we've got Leighton Cranbrook.
And at the end of the race there, we've got race 3 results for round 3 of the Tasmanian Super Sprint, brought to us by Asset Plumbing, by the HQXtra Eseries, presented by Command Digital. So fantastic event there, brilliant racing. We've got Matty Reid that's come home over the line, first place there. That's a couple of wins for him. We've got Michael Howlett that's coming second. great for his championship. He's had a very, very solid round there. Another few podiums there. Joel Heinrich with the Osborne Transport CR International Heinrich Performance Car. We've got DC Camilleri, Dave Camilleri coming through for 4th place. We've got Scott Andriski come through for 5th place, and he's come up 5 positions there. And there's a few guys that have made up some ground there as well.
There certainly is. Leighton Cranbrook and the better pulls and spars up 11 positions. Well done, Leighton, for position 6 outright in the final race. Andrew Toff, well done, mate. Congratulations. You can only get better. Also moved up 11 positions. Brandon Madden, Harvey Towing Services, a massive 23 positions. He's moved up to finish in the top 8. Well done. The Rainbow Warrior car, Simon Thomas, down a couple of positions, still finishing in 9th. And Chris Anscoff, the Western Australian guy, rounding out the top 10. So absolutely fantastic from Tasmania. Race 3, round 3, Asset Plumbing Solutions. Thank you very, very much. Command Digital, spot on. Thanks, guys.
For the HQXtra Eseries Championship points so far, we've got Michael Howlett leading there in 1st position with a few points gap there over Jason Mole, who's coming home in 2nd place. We've got Dave Camilleri in 3rd place, Kenny Wright in 4th for CR International there, Joel Heinrich in 5th position, Simon Thomas following up from there, Chris Moles coming home 7th, Scott Andreski in 8th, and Matty Reid, after a good strong showing, he's definitely come up some positions. Leighton Cranbrook in 10th place there. So how's that all going, Dave? How's the rest of the field looking?
Yeah, the rest of the field's looking quite well. With Leighton Cranbrook rounding out the top 10 in the better Bulls car. David Smith, South Australian guy, in 11th. Brendan Madden in Queensland 12th. John Baxter from New South Wales in 13th. Otis Caldwell from Tasmania in 14th. Jason Dwyer, JD Raceware. Brett Osborne, the champion New South Wales, there in 16th position. Nicholas Jackson, he had a fairly average round here in Tassie, that's to wait and see. Ricardo there in Price's Image, training at 18. Hollywood himself, Wayne Healy. Come on, mate, pull your head out of the sand, you're in 19th position. You're better than that, or you think you are anyway. And rounding out, 20th position, is the South Australian President, Darren Jenkins.
And look, everyone else in the field's having a great time as well, so it's not always about winning, but again, some fantastic words there from Dwayne Priest earlier on today. Again, it's just very indicative of the sport as to what it's all about. And it's mates versus mates. That's what we're here for. We enjoy the sport. We love everything that it's about. And we're really, really grateful for everyone that supports HQXtra, our sponsors, as well as Command Digital Signage for making this E-Series possible. The event has been fantastic. We look forward to the next round. It's actually at Barbagallo Raceway, so it'll be coming up on Friday night as well. And we're looking forward to seeing how it goes there with the Western Australia drivers.
It certainly will be, and just remember Michael Howlett, that's his home track. So guns are a-blazing. Let's wait and see. Well done, guys.
It's the night from me, so thank you very much. It's Ian McLean, and thank you very much, Dave. We'll look forward to catching up with you soon.